Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast, edition with David and Donnie.
I'm sorry. Welcome to the edition with Donnie and David.
Okay.
We have an amazing special guest with us here today.
Thank you.
Her name is Neko Cheri, and I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Neko Cheri, and I am a tax lien specialist, real estate investor extraordinaire, and cute.
Cute. Just in case you guys can't see it.
We got action.
Yeah, happy. Before we get into your story, I just want to know how everybody's doing. First, we're going to start with Donnie.
Yeah. It should always start.
Absolutely. How's your week?
My week has been pretty awesome. I think we say this every single time, but you know what? Like I am
awesome. Nico, so how was your week?
You know what? First of all, Nico,
I'm not going to get in this fight.
No disrespect, because you guys care. Like the people actually care. Do you know that I get so many comments and people who are like, Donnie, I'm glad you're having a good day. Like I'm really glad. And people always comment on the fact that, you know, how you cut me off, you cut me short. It looks like you want to be the lead on this. And
I'm just mad you're creating a narrative for this podcast.
I am.
Dang, that was brilliant.
Nobody's
That was smart. That was really clever. Anytime I say something, it's like, he's doing it again.
He's doing it again. He's doing it again, guys. If you see this, comment on it. He's doing it again. Anyway, because the world is interested, my week was pretty fantastic. It was actually very productive. I had an opportunity to do a whole lot of admin work in my back office. But you know, the key thing for me, I've been busy resting. And
explain that.
Whew, honey. So as entrepreneurs, as entrepreneurs, and you don't even have to be an entrepreneur for this, right? You can just be a person whose life is consumed with tasks. And for myself, as an entrepreneur, a lot of my days are consumed with tasks. And so I was very intentional this week about catching up on my beauty rest, right? And so, you know, I had people trying to get with me and want me to do all this extra stuff. And I'm like, nope, I am so busy this week resting. And I mean it.
I like that. Okay.
So, Neko.
Yes.
How was your week?
Interesting. My business coach really, you know, cleared out my business. And so it threw me into this spiral of reconfiguring some things. But it was very good, very healthy, very necessary. As I was saying before, it's like I had this beautiful yacht that was just sailing along, but it was sinking because it had these major holes in it that I didn't know. So she was able to point that out to me, and now we are rectifying the situation. I'm very happy.
That's awesome. Well,
yes.
I just realized, so when Donnie said, y'all want to have Neko on the show, I was like, oh, that's dope. She's like, yo, she's having all this success. And then I think today we found out that you're a client. And then I just realized it was a setup promotion.
First of all,
kind of.
that is absolutely not true. That is absolutely not true. Even though, you know, David knew yesterday when we booked Neko that she was one of my clients who is uber successful.
I didn't put it together until right now.
He just wants to roll me right up under the bus. David, we had a moment this week. How was your week?
Oh my gosh, I love Donnie with everything in my heart. My week was good. Thanks for asking. We had some moves. I did something major this week that I'm not going to talk about. I want to just do it. You know what I mean? It's like in social media.
Fair enough.
We do nothing's a surprise anymore.
Right.
So, I just did this, and then I just did this, and once you once you launch it, it's like it was just promotion. So I'm literally intentionally winning behind the scene to make sure I'm not doing it for the gram. I caught myself like, I can't wait to make this move. And I saw it in my head, the post. I saw the post,
right.
I'm going to post it like this.
Right.
And I said, wow, am I am I doing it because I love the game of entrepreneurship, or am I trying to am I doing it to impress? Now I have a coaching group, and they know what's going on in my world.
Right.
But I'm being more intentional about like just beating the game because I want to beat the game, not for social media.
Yeah.
So
That's a word.
so yeah. So I had a pretty good week. Very demanding. Obviously, in anything you're building, it's a lot of anxiety, excitement.
Tell me about
stress.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to point out, you were talking about your week this week, and I know that this week you and I and Marcus Rozier actually had an opportunity to meet for lunch.
Well, I didn't have an opportunity to meet with Marcus.
Well,
came late.
he nearly stood us
I know
up.
Marcus, and he's always late.
You know Marcus Rozier?
Yeah.
Oh, he's who actually referred you to me.
And that's why they're besties, because they're both always late. Dottie and Marcus?
Listen,
Always.
Wait a minute. And then my business partner, friend, is working with him too.
Is your business partner friend late too? Did they?
Always on time. And it's annoying.
just like
Marcus too.
just like I am. But I have to, we did have an interesting time. And so David sends me a text and he says, "What are you doing today?" Okay, randomly. This is on one of my rest days. And I actually broke my rest for David. And he says, "Hey, let's meet up. Let's have lunch. Let's talk business." And I suggested that he invite Marcus Rozier. Marcus, I suggested that he invite you.
Before, but she didn't know that I had already asked Marcus to come.
Okay. Anyway, so he tries to sweeten up the scenario and says, "I'll pay." Well, anytime you tell me you're paying for food, it's where and when do I meet you?
Bingo.
Right? So then he proceeds to send this text that says, and tell me if I'm lying, Neko, "Since I'm paying, let me give y'all these lunch on me rules for today."
It wasn't. It's not
Listen, no steak, no drinks, no appetizers, no dessert, no seafood, no extra sides, no extra cheese, no to-go orders, no asking the server for extra stuff that will require an extra tip, no dinner portions. I did order a dinner portion. I did that on purpose.
And I didn't want to be petty because I saw it. The server asked, she's like, "Do you want lunch or dinner?" And she just, dinner.
I'll take dinner. No adding stuff to your entree. 2 appetizers don't equal 1 meal. No ordering anything the server suggests.
Because the server's going to see. If I'm paying for 2 people to eat, I'm just saying, I just want to let you know.
Oh, well, shoot. I am 2 people when I eat, so you ain't going to want to invite me out because I eat a lot.
Is there wrong with setting the...
Yeah, there was a lot wrong with those expectations.
Yo, you know what? Here's where people
You lost me at no appetizers.
Here's where people get it wrong. For one, not saying in this case, when people know they're not paying, they order extra stuff. Okay?
You think
they
so?
Order outside of normally.
Well, I'm greedy.
So part 2 is I'm trying to free my brothers who are like trying to date people and get rid of all that anxiety. Send the list, my man. Like, yo, I want to take you to dinner.
Send me that list so I can post on social media. I need to start a Q&A session.
Here's a couple things. I just want to let you know. Here's the number. Mm-hmm. Or maybe not a long list, but I want to take you out to eat. We just go hang out. $30 limit.
I would, first of all, $30 limit.
You can't even do Starbucks for $30.
A $30 limit fans won't even cover
Have
drinks.
you ever been on a date with somebody and y'all have your first date, y'all start meeting and all that kind of stuff, y'all get comfortable, and then he like, you're not doing it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get comfortable, then they stop the process. You find out they're cheap later.
I don't know. I don't know if he sold food stamps to take me out or what, but all the men that I've ever gone out with, they go all out. So I have not.
They don't always go all out, though.
I literally haven't had that experience. I date men, and for one, I'm not a gluttonous woman, right? So maybe I'm appreciated. Yeah, I'm greedy. I mean, this thickness didn't come from nowhere. You don't just get thick. Like.
You need to know.
Paint a picture here, yeah.
And she dates bosses, clearly.
Okay, get your etch a sketch out, put it together.
I love it. Yeah, so much fun.
Yeah.
You've never experienced that? You ever experienced that?
I haven't.
Change a little bit?
I think my demeanor sets a certain standard. I mean, I'm just like the don't play with me kind of.
And I got a dusty barometer.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I do. And here's the thing.
I was like that then. So.
No, you were like that, but
I wasn't.
You absolutely were. So here's the thing, because I know the internet's going to attack me. Let me tell y'all something about y'all nasty comments. I don't care.
Say the same thing. I don't give a damn.
I don't care whatsoever, right? But let me just say this. Because of how I treat me, I attract people who care to treat me the same way.
Bingo. That has to be it, because I'm a giver.
Yeah.
So I attract people who operate in the same spirit.
Yeah. And so when you start getting older or even more experienced, because you know there may be some of you who learn this at a younger age, but there are just certain things that I deserve, right? I deserve amazing experiences. Whether he does it for me or not, it's going to get done. I deserve amazing experiences. I deserve to put fine food in my body. I don't eat BS for any reason, right? And because I think maybe even so because in this day and age, you meet people who kind of vet out. You meet people who...
I'm just waiting for him to interrupt you.
Who vet you out, like on social media and stuff. I think people can kind of gauge what type of man or woman you are. And certain people just would never even approach, right? And that's not to say that we can't ever go out and just grab ice cream or have a date, or, some of my favorite restaurants, I'm on their email list because I be looking for those 2-for-1 specials and those, come on Thursday, we got happy hour. I'm all for Oceanaire's happy hour on Thursday night. Yes, ma'am.
That's a whole word.
5 to 7. Okay.
Yeah,
we there? We there?
Because I had to go to, so I have a kiosk in Cumberland Mall, and right there is Cheesecake Factory, so I didn't want to go too far. I should have just suggested Chipotle, because how much can you get?
First of all, I'm not eating Chipotle.
What is Chipotle?
Chipotle.
What is that?
You never ate a Chipotle?
Never.
What? The best burritos on earth.
I don't eat
burritos. Can't be, because I love Mexican food.
Yo,
and if it was
in a Chipotle.
No. It's fast food, is it?
No, it's not fast food.
What is Chipotle then? Is that fine dining? You don't have a waiter come and serve you at Chipotle, do you?
Do you need a waiter to come and serve you?
If it's on his list, I'm guessing that it's probably.
I got a little list. Okay. So working at the Cheesecake Factory, I was a server, and my whole thing was taking successful people to lunch. Because I didn't have much money. I just wanted some advice. I'll just take you to lunch. And I don't want to say, yo, let me pick your brain for free. Let me take you to lunch.
Fair enough.
This little list of places that we can link up. So you don't want to do like Wendy's or Popeyes because it's not professional. But Chipotle, you sit down.
And it's toxic.
You go through the line. Right.
It can kill you.
They serve you. Like they tell what you want in your burrito.
This is sounding less and less appealing, but go ahead.
No, but they got like the Nantucket nectar in the back. You can get chips. It's really nice. You get your
I'm not.
Food in a paper bag.
It's a design paper bag. But you can sit down or a tray.
You get a tray. I'm out of trays.
It's a nice little conversation. Or you do like a sandwich spot. Now, Nuke's. You ever been to Nuke's?
It's a no for me, dog.
Nuke's is good.
I've never heard of Nuke's.
Nuke's is really good.
What is that? Like the Jimmy John's or something?
No.
What are these? Like Super McDonald's? What is going on?
Here's how you do it. You go up to the thing, you order your food, then you sit down, and then a server brings you your food.
Like Steak and Shake.
Is that what they do?
Yes, that is exactly what they do. I love Steak and Shake though, for real.
For my entrepreneurs that you don't got a whole bunch of bread, you can't go fast food, but you ain't going to no Cheesecake Factory and all that.
Let me ask you this.
It's just a nice little sit-down sandwich.
It's called budgeting. It's called budgeting. Fine dining is not exclusive. You just have to budget for it. Yeah. You can't do it once a week, but maybe you can do it once a month and have the experience that you deserve in your journey.
Yeah, as long as you can sit down and it's not a fast food. Here's the thing: as long as it's not drive-through, we're going. Next time we're just going to Chipotle.
Can you drive through Chipotle?
No, you can't. That's the thing. You got to park your cars. It's a family restaurant.
What?
It's kind of like the what's that one place?
And if I go there and that Mexican food ain't everything that I dream, the Mexican food.
Really
let me ask you about that because it's fresh.
What's your idea?
So
Fresh?
I don't want any Chipotle haters.
He's questionable at this point.
I don't want any Chipotle haters. But let me tell you, one of the reasons why I don't like Chipotle, one of the biggest reasons is because of how many times they have been like caught with E. coli in their lettuce.
No, it was one time.
It was
Oh my goodness!
My phone is right here. We can Google it.
One time.
We can Google it.
Here's the point, though.
But no, people actually like died.
Okay, forget Chipotle.
So you're trying to kill us?
So I was
Allegedly, people died.
I was looking for mentors, and I wanted to take them to lunch. But in my situation, I couldn't go to a Cheesecake Factory. I couldn't spend $60.
Right.
And I didn't want to go cheap either, so I had to find that middle ground.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
okay.
So some of my mentors, I meet them at a Starbucks because they like, yo, let me just get some Starbucks, and I just pay for your coffee, your bread, or whatever.
Starbucks is reasonable.
Your coffee and your bread?
Your muffin. Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
So, because you can't spend too much. But I'm in a situation where I just got a job. I need information. And one, I didn't have the money, or maybe I didn't have the mindset to invest that much. So, but it worked. So I would take my mentors. I talked to Tony Abraham. At this point, he was retired, and then he was the CFO for Diddy Enterprises.
Oh, nice.
He was the CFO for a while. And now he has a dope company called Tweedle. He'll be on his podcast.
TWEEDL.
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
Really? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I remember when he started it. So he left Diddy's company to start that.
Nice.
He's the most brilliant man I've ever met.
Really?
So while I was working at the Cheesecake Factory, it's actually my best friend's uncle. He introduced me to him, and we just started building this relationship. I was like, yo, can I please take you to lunch? And he was like retired at this point. And we would just go to like little sandwich spots and, nothing too expensive, but we had such a genuine conversation.
Right.
He took it, and literally that was what helped me quit my job.
Really?
You know what's so interesting about that is that as a woman, especially if you're a fairly attractive woman, I could never go to a man that I admired to say, let me take you to lunch to talk business, and it turned out the right way.
First of all, he couldn't ask you to go to lunch to talk business, and it turned out the right way.
Right, but you can go to another woman. Like, so, for instance, there's a young person that,
women are challenging too.
Let's say they work at Chipotle. Just walk to me with this picture. They work at Chipotle, and they meet you like, oh my gosh, I'm seeing your posts on Instagram, stuff like that, and I want to learn the game.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot, but can I at least take you to lunch? You got to eat sometime. Okay, can I take you to lunch?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to require that person to take you to Ruth's Chris, right? But if they say, well, can we meet at Starbucks? There's a nice little sandwich spot around the corner. They're really good.
I'm not. The answer is a hard no.
Yeah, why?
It's a hard no.
I would rather the whole lunch idea is good, and being a foodie, I would rather them if I'm going to do something pro bono, I would rather you lend me a skill, and that's because you got to have some skin in the game. And it can't be your bare minimum. If you can't afford to take me to lunch, I understand that. Mm-hmm. But entrepreneurship is about stretching. Entrepreneurship is about going beyond. So what is the stretch for you? You're doing the bare minimum that you could spend. You're staying within your comfort zone. You may not be ready for this because there's nothing that I do that's in my comfort zone. I'm always going beyond what it takes for me to get to that next level. So what is it when you come to me, and my time is valuable, when you come to me, what is the stretch for you if you're going to do the bare minimum?
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was an awesome segue into the actual podcast because we've been here for mad long. So let's jump into the story. First off, maybe how y'all met. Y'all want to discuss that?
Well, okay, so coming out of the pandemic, I was just having these really, really amazing runs for my business. And I had said to myself, after around May, like, man, I'm ready to hit the $100,000 a month, goal. So I did 95,000. And so I was really excited about that. And I'm like, but it didn't take a lot of effort to get there. So I was like, I need to push. Like, what is it? I need a coach. And I'm not ashamed to say that. Like, people think because I have over 100,000 people following me, I have millions of views on my videos on social media. I've been featured. Oh, I'm lit.
I wanted you to have
for y'all that's listening at home, I'm lit. Yeah, and featured in Black Enterprise, featured in Ebony Magazine, just moving. You know what I mean? But I was like,
how long you been like in this journey of?
I've been lit since birth. But let's back it up. I've had highs and lows. I can't really say it has been consistent. You know, I've had breaks in that time period where I had to get grounded and, you know, start over again, you know. So, to be quite honest with you, I had a major break in my business in February, because of the tax lien sales, the way it's structured, the area that I was investing, they shut my business down. They literally created a rule in the auction that prevented me from doing business. It was intentional.
What was the rule?
The rule was, okay, so the way that my business used to work before I reformulated, I would go and bid at the auction for my clients. So I would charge, you know, several $1,000s. I would get these huge waves of people, and I raised my prices, and things were like, people were like going crazy, like clamoring, like, oh my God, can you go bid at the auction for me?
Wow. And nobody was doing that?
Again, this is a niche. Like, people just aren't thinking outside the box. They're only looking at Instagram and seeing what other people are doing and doing what they see, instead of thinking, okay, where can I carve out a space that works for me? And that's what I did. I carved out a space that works for me. And how I even got into tax liens was someone stole my property, and was disingenuous. And I was like, never again will that happen to me. Never again will it happen to anyone else. And I had like 5 clients. Now I have like 700. So that was a couple of years ago, you know? So carving out your niche, the riches is in the niches, right? So, anywho, I'm losing my train of thought. So then they shut down they changed the rules to completely stop me from bidding in that area. And the reason why is because it's an up and coming area. And, they're really trying to get other people to come in there. When I first started looking in that area, people were like, oh, it's trash, it's ghetto, it's hood. I'm like, perfect. Sound like an investment opportunity to me. What you mean? Oh, they shooting? Okay. Let's buy something. You know, and if you ever watch, what is it? The Men Who Built America with the Rockefellers, and man, that joint was fire. What they say, when there's blood on the street, you buy. There's blood on the streets, ladies and gentlemen.
That's powerful.
There's blood on the streets, so you buy. So I picked a niche area. What's niche about it? Close proximity to Chicago. 30 minutes from my apartment complex that I bought for $500. It's trash, but it's mine. I bought that for $500 at the tax lien. 30 minutes from door to door to Chicago downtown. Literally, I drove it.
In Georgia.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. People think that they need to invest where they live. No, you need to invest where the money is. Is you nuts?
Yeah.
Where's the money? Where's the money? Thank you. Like, where's the money? Yeah. So they shut me down in February. I was like damn near in a depression, and then here comes, you know, the damn AAA equalize COVID. Never been there.
Taco Bell Premium.
That is exactly what it sounds like.
Taco Bell Plus.
Lord, I'm never going. But yeah, so here comes COVID. And I'm like, man, so I'm out, you know, trying to exercise, trying to slim down and get my mind right. And I see this video of B. Simone, right? And she changes her whole, like, hit $1 million in a short period of time. I'm like, I feel like I can do that. I feel like I can get a team and do that. And I'm like, but why would I do that by myself? Why wouldn't I do that with other black women? So I come up with this idea called the collective movement. I go on the internet and I look for women who I felt had a certain appeal to them. I had one girl, Sierra Nicole. She's young, she's vibrant, really gorgeous. And I was like, I like her. Come on. I introduced the idea to her. She's like, yeah, I'm with it. I see this other chick. She's, you know, doing hair and, you know, she did this. And, you know, she really beautiful. Yeah. Nat B in Chicago. My girl. So I bring her on board. She's like, man, I'm with it. She has 100,000 followers on Instagram. She's very active. I'm watching people who have clearly a business model that's performing. So then I reach out to another individual and she's like, I'm in. So I have these women and we all come together and we came together on a Wednesday. We finished our program on that Sunday. We launched our program on that Monday.
The program. So
we put together an online digital program that consisted of business credit, digital content, branding, and a bunch of other little things. We all came together. We launched the program on that Monday. Within a week, we had made over $100,000. And we had a webinar that had people like Beyonce's mother because her hairstylist was associated with someone, and there were all these executives from TV shows. Like, it was crazy. We had over 2,000 people register for our webinar, and it crashes.
Wow.
It crashes. And so everybody's panicking, and the webinar was going terrible anyway. Like, everybody had got stage fright, and they were like, hey, people, this is, and I'm like, what the hell? That ain't what we practice. I know it was only a couple of days, but are you nuts? I was praying that the internet guys shut it down, and they did. Wow. So it crashed, and everybody was disappointed. They were like, what are we going to do? I said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to jump back in and we're going to do it today. So we set everything up. We shut it down. We got right back in there. We did it again. Everybody, they told the stories, and they communicated, and they connected with the audience the way they were supposed to. Again, we hit 100K that first week.
Crazy.
It was insane. And I was like, and that's what I'm talking about. You make history like that.
Oh, for sure.
You make history like that. In the middle of a pandemic, I bring together Black women that can work together and achieve an outstanding goal in a short period of time. Everyone's businesses were getting shut down. They were stuck inside. They didn't have everyone wanted a recession-proof business. What they did not have was a pandemic-proof business.
Let me. Is this your first webinar or digital product?
It wasn't mine. Like, my whole, university, the tax liens, it's all online. It's all DIY. It's all do it yourself. So education. My Instagram. Now we get
really active on Instagram.
I'm not active on Instagram.
That segue into this because there are so many entrepreneurs or so many people who are so focused on the gram, and it's the only place to make money.
It is not.
Neko makes her money on Facebook.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Facebook.
Okay. I'm a Facebook girl.
Good. Yeah, I think it's obviously really important to find your platform.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard for me to get traction on Facebook because I think my Facebook is all people that I met. I knew, like my friends, family when I was young, and then Instagram is a whole new world of people that I don't know. And I can get a little. Well, what's your Instagram?
So it's at Neko Cheri everywhere. So Neko.
Spell
I
it
should
slowly for him.
pop right up. NEKOCHERI.
I'm only doing that for our listeners.
He got it. He got it. I might be following you already.
No, you're not.
I'm not.
Definitely gonna need that follow back.
Yeah.
So
I got
listen, you said a couple of things that are important.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you find her, Shans? Did you spell it out? N as in Nancy. Okay. So you said a couple of things, and I kind of want to highlight that. Number one, the first thing was that you said that your goal was to find women who were performing in their business. I think that's important because so many times we try to forge strategic partnerships with people who are not performing.
Right.
So that's not a strategic partnership at all, right? So there's a difference between just coming together and partnering with a group of people and then joining forces to join in a strategic partnership. And I think, when I'm partnering with individuals, everybody has to bring an element to the table. Some people money, some people following, some people skill set, right? Some people serve very well. So just elaborate on why the performing businesses were the highlight of what you were looking for.
Because I had tons of bad experiences. I know how to make money, right? So I was working with individuals where I was like, oh, she has a skill. I can help us make money, right? But if money is the only thing that you kind of dangle as a carrot in front of people when they're not used to making high volumes of money, especially, you know, a $20,000 in an hour or $50,000 in an hour. What you're going to end up getting is, like some dysfunction, right? Mm-hmm. Because once they see the money is made, they feel like they don't need you anymore. Mm-hmm. And I had to build relationships where it was actually beneficial for all of us. Yeah. And money could not be the only reason. There had to be other factors. So when I reached out to these women who were, again, already performing, so money wasn't an issue for them. It wasn't about they needed to make money. It was about the relationships. And it was about, so I asked all of them, what do you need from me? What is it that your business isn't getting? And then I made that promise to them to take them to the next level. And then I negotiated what was beneficial to me, what I needed. Right. So I usually would go in it just for money. You can't do it just for the money. Mm-hmm. Although that's a business goal. That's a given. What else is it? And so it was the relationships. Like, when I was just in Chicago, in Gary at my property, and I had the cleanup crew out there. Guess what? These women came out to meet with me. They showed up and they were present in something that was 100% about me. And that was the significance of what had become of that whole thing, you know. And I had in business, it's hard to find that, especially when, you know, you lit, people come to you because they want something from you. Again, that was my thing about taking me to lunch. If I let everybody take me to lunch that only has, you know, $20, I'd be thicker.
Yeah. We be at lunch every day, right? You
all day, every day. I be eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner all day, every day because they want to get close to, they want that shine. They want clout chase and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not into that. I'm into genuine and sincere relationships that are beneficial to not just them, but to me. Mm-hmm. So when people, even when they inbox me and they say, hey, you know, I have this product I want to send to you. And I'm like, okay, what's the end for me? What's in it for me? I got clothes. I got money. What is it that how am I going to actually benefit? I see where you're going to win. Where's the win for me? So when you approach someone in business and you want to work with them or come to the table, make sure that you actually research them. Like someone came to me and said, oh, I do credit. Sis, they call me the Olivia Pope of credit. I let that go. But understand this. Know who you talking to. If you're going to, yes, single? Married to the money. I'm married to the money. Yeah. What? Say it. Oh. Yeah, but you know, so they have to bring something to the table.
What, Johnny? I didn't even say anything. Listen. For my listeners, okay, the people that follow, you know how them comments get on YouTube. Ask Donnie, please.
Ask Donnie.
What?
And do I ever respond to said comments? I do not respond to those particular comments.
Really?
I'm thinking about you.
I always say thank you, but I never answer the question. I'm so private, Neko. I'm super private. So you only know about me what I intentionally curate for you to know about me. And that just is what it is, right? And I'm talking about online. So, you know, entrepreneurs, people say that they're an open book. I'm an open book too.
Right.
I'm an open book that's well written, and I've only published certain pages.
I like that.
And so you have to build some sort of a relationship with me. Like, why do you need to know my business? Right? How are you going to help me be better at what it is that I personally have going on? Or am I just satisfying your curiosity? Curiosity killed the cat. Don't come over here and get
satisfying. Lord, satisfying the curiosity. That's major.
Quick segue, because I want to get into like the strategy attacks. But how does someone approach a powerful, successful woman?
On a dating level?
Yeah, on a dating level.
On a dating level? Oh my goodness. For me, you have to show genuine interest in my success, because that's what powerful women want. Okay, so I have a lot of men that send me inboxes. Don't inbox me. Oh, you're so attractive, as if like I don't wake up every morning.
Through none of them. Every now and then.
They're not interesting.
You go to that profile if the picture look right though. If that's
not at all. Let me tell you something. It's some fine if you're from Chicago, fan men that send me messages, but they have no substance. They I could put them all in the same category. So if you're going to approach a woman and she's successful, bring a business opportunity. Present a business opportunity. Present something that's going to cater to my ego as far as my business is concerned.
I like that.
So, Neko, Neko, I'm going to put you on this amazing interview with this. What do you have that's going to take me to the next level? Because that's what I want. That's what women like me, we're passionate, we're driven. And if the only thing you're offering me is food, I'm eating good. I'm eating good. The situation is, you know what I'm saying? But I'm eating.
I need more meals.
You know what I mean? No, you don't.
I'm looking at my side compared to your side. I need inbox me, please. I need more food.
Donnie, oh my God.
You got that all.
You're like,
and I look over and she pokes it out.
angle myself.
But it's like men like successful men. They're like, oh, are y'all as pretty? They like, oh, can you cook? Can you clean? That's how we are. All you are is successful. Like, what do you bring to the table?
So
what are you gonna do for me?
I'm a little different. In that aspect. I don't want you to offer me anything business related.
Really?
No, not in the beginning, because I am so consumed typically with business, usually for me, and this is not to say about any particular person, okay? But typically for me, when I was actively, dating people, I was just really looking for an outlet to just be who Donnie is. I wanted to be soft and I wanted to be gentle and I wanted to just kind of really be sweet and loving.
But how do they get to from his standpoint of his question, how do you get through, especially through an inbox message?
Yeah, well, I don't usually meet men that way. Honestly, when I think about all the guys that I've dated,
the one guy.
When I think about all the guys that I've dated, the Cheesecake Factory.
That manifested you.
Somebody manifested me.
Oh my God!
Walking in the Cheesecake Factory, and he just took a double take. He was like, "Oh, Donnie," and she's like, I could tell that she didn't know who he was. She's like, oh, "Hey, how are you?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, man, just I was just just saying, hey, man, da da da." So he passed, and then Donnie said, "Oh, I remember the guy. He was DMing me or whatever."
Oh my goodness!
He probably
he doesn't DM me anymore, so I think he watched the first episode that you called him out on.
He was like, "Yo, I manifested this moment" or something like that.
Yes. So he was like, "I literally manifested you," and I'm like, "You can't manifest for me because we're not in alignment on that level."
Bingo.
But for me, I typically meet people in my past. When I think about the guys that I've dated, it was always like a reference from another friend, or it was that we were involved, maybe we met at a conference or something like that, right? So I have never, I don't know, and if I did date you or went out on a date with you as a result of just a random DM, please comment, let me know, call me out on my BS.
So it works sometimes.
No, I can't say that I've ever done that. We usually had some type of a common interest around that, right?
Right.
And so for me...
But I'm sorry, but DM of the common interest.
No, so I mean that we may have been familiar.
Support.
So we may have seen each other in a space and they come and DM. But for me, I don't want to start off with you if I'm looking at you for business purposes, for dating purposes. I don't want to start off with you with a business interest because I have done that before. And you get so consumed in this idea of this power couple that you could become. Well, come on, Shans, what's that?
Why my hair just...
What is that?
I don't know what that was because it's not on.
While I'm having a moment. You got some remote control situation over there.
I don't know what that was.
Anyway, for me, when you start dating someone and right out of the gate you want the business and this and the offer, Like, I've done that before, and it's just like, I'm at home telling my girls, like, oh, we're going to be a power couple. Like, this is what he did. He hooked me up with this. And I kind of just want to organically get to know you first. Gotcha. And then, but I do require dating a certain type of man. And that's just that.
So what I get from it is all women, you can't approach all women the same way.
And they all do. My inbox looks like thousands of replications of the same message. I mean, literally, like, I can pick out 20 dudes and they all look exactly the same because it's, hey, beautiful, good morning. I just want to send you some encouragement. No, send me some money.
Oh,
Send me some money.
I love it.
Now, we know that I don't need money, right? But here's the thing. Men are stingy with their money. So a man is only going to send you money if he has a certain level of respect for you.
Okay, we're not on.
Well, it's not only fans, but you know, most men they value money the way we value our bodies. Like, we're different in that way. So if a man parts ways financially for you, then he's looking at you a little bit differently than other men, especially if you're not Instagram model, right? Because you know your business. Or they'll purchase your product even though they don't need it. Like, or they'll purchase your product and say, hey, I don't need it, but here's a giveaway. Do this for your audience. Or they'll show up to my speaking engagements, you know, and bring friends and say, hey, I want to introduce you to this person and that person. They show real support. It's genuine. And they go beyond, hey, let's meet for coffee. You know, a lot of men, you know, they stay in this little pocket of what's comfortable for them. I don't want you.
But you are open.
To money.
Man with something, though.
Most definitely.
Okay. All right.
Look, no. I did the Dusty thing. It didn't work for me. I did my Dusty.
Let me get the lint out my pocket.
Dusty forever. Okay? All right, so let's.
Chance, you were
But
Dusty
Dusty is a mentality.
You were Dusty at
but
one
Dusty
time.
is a mentality. Because
Yeah,
technically,
Phil,
I've
you
been
were
a
Dusty at one
Dusty too.
Right.
Dusty is a mentality for sure.
Dusty is a
Dusty is a
mindset, for
mentality.
sure. It is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's really hard to like qualify. You know, it's really hard for women to speak about what they want. In dating, we can speak about it, but it's not often received well. You know, because there's somebody right now watching this and they're listening to Neko and saying, "Oh, she's a gold digger. I was about to follow, and she's this." that,
Well,
and the other."
I actually am a gold digger, but I dig my own gold, sir.
Thank you.
Keep that in mind.
Thank you.
I
Thank
do
you.
dig gold for myself.
And again, it just gets to a point where when you have reached certain levels, you know, I have expectations. You hear people say all the time, don't have expectations. To hell with that. I got expectations, right?
Right.
Like
I just
what you
do.
Right.
I like what I like. I
So do
desire what I
gentlemen, right?
desire.
Sure.
And that doesn't make me shallow. That doesn't make me, you know, some
Right.
person who's out for, I make my own money.
Right on, right
but
on.
I do enjoy what the conversation is like. I do,
Elevated.
you know, with when you're dealing with people who are on a certain mental capacity, who have a certain mental capacity, I enjoy what the experiences are like.
Right.
When you don't have to worry about, oh, well, can he afford it? You know, I have a college
Chipotle?
daughter.
Chipotle?
I'm gonna judge you
It's a
for
quick little
Chipotle.
lunch.
I'm gonna
you're
judge you. I'm not. I may not cancel the guy who offers Chipotle on the first date, but I'm definitely on the phone with my girls or in the group chat. Like, dude said Chipotle. I had to hit him back with Marcel's. Like,
If you're gonna spend $25 or $30 on a date, at least make it adventurous, like a picnic or a bike ride.
First date? Picnic?
Look, I don't give a damn. If those are the choices, picnic.
let me see. If you had
But you never had
$25,
Chipotle, though. That's the thing. I need you to-
And I don't plan on ever having it.
what would I want?
When I was saying it, that was in the context of trying to build a relationship with someone. It worked for me in terms of like work when I was.
But you don't have a Dusty mentality though, and that's what I'm trying to say.
Correct, yeah, for sure.
You know, you don't have a
woman that
Dusty
you ended up
mentality,
marrying
needing
wasn't
someone else.
attracted to the dust. Even though I do know
We
that.
went to, what was it? Where did we go? It wasn't nothing super. It was a restaurant. Okay. No.
But you sat down, you were waiting on, and you had to leave a tip.
And that's my
right?
point.
Right. You did something more for her. You saw her differently. And did you do something more for your wife or no?
Yeah.
And that's my point.
That's what it is. Like, don't give me your bare minimum when I know there's a woman out here that you're going to do more for.
The same for when people want to work with you in entrepreneurship. If you're not willing to go all out for that mentor, that opportunity, that woman, it's a mentality. It's a dusty mentality all the way around. So how you do one thing, like my mother says, is how you do everything.
Hey, this is a key for somebody who's listening, and especially women though. Like, women and men, stop accepting the bare minimum from people and making yourself believe that it's okay with you. It's not okay with you, right? Stop accepting it, because not only do you not deserve it, but there are men who have done.
Point at me.
There are men who consistently do the bare minimum, and it's not even that you're thinking when you meet somebody, oh, let me just do the ultimate bare minimum. It's just where you were in your thinking, right?
You're not that interested.
So you haven't reached a level of peak mentality where your brain says, let me not be dusty this time around and do something a little average or above average. But when he met someone that he knew he had long-term interest in,
no Chipotle.
No Chipotle.
I would have.
Oh, Chipotle.
So you got to.
It's French. Chipotle is not French. First of all,
French for Mexican food.
But it's all in the context. Because if I'm in my office, I got a meeting between 12 and 1. If you're gonna be in the area, it's Chipotle right downstairs. Anyway, let's segue into. I want to know this whole tax business strategy, because I want to get super wealthy too.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So explain what tax.
So I didn't really get to go into my story, but this is what I'll say. I've been owning real estate since I was in my 20s. I'm 47. And and my first home I bought when I was around, I think 25, 26. I sold it. I made $100,000. I sold my second home before the age of 30. I made another $100,000. I sold my third home. I bought it for $500,000. I sold it for $700,000. So I made $200,000 on that deal. My fourth home I bought for about $800,000, and I lost that home when the real estate market crashed. I was a licensed real estate agent. All of my deals, everything shut down. Everything just went all the way back. But what bothered me about that was the fact that I had paid so much into my mortgage. My mortgage was over $6,000 because interest rates were astronomical at that time. And in addition to that, I live in California, property values, it was just a lot going on. But I could afford it at that time. But I kept thinking, where the hell did all my money go? Now I don't have the property anymore. And I wasn't used to that because for me, I had, sold all of my homes. So I had, very good experiences. So this very negative experience just really tainted me towards mortgages. And if you actually know the definition of mortgages, it's like the death pledge, right? Wow. Because the average African American, we're going to buy our homes in our 30s and 40s. So if you have a 30-year mortgage, you're not going to be able to pay that home off until you're 60, 70 years old. Where's the benefit in that? I mean, I get it if you're passing it down to your kids, and you better have your documentation in order and make sure that you're actually your trust together. But for me, I was just very bitter about that experience and very hurt. Like, oh my God, So when after everything, got back on track, after I went from being broke and got back to, where I'm at now, I'm like, I don't want to have a mortgage unless it's beneficial to me anymore. So what's another avenue of acquiring real estate that doesn't do that to me or doesn't make me feel like that again, right? And yes. Okay, wonderful. And so someone was talking to me about tax deeds. And I'm like, what are tax deeds? And so I picked the area, Gary, Indiana. I was born in Gary. Let's get that understood. That's why I was familiar with the area and its close proximity to Chicago, Detroit, and Canada. Right? Yep. And so I jump on a plane just randomly, like, I'm going to go find out. Really? Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like that type of entrepreneur.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying about people doing the lease. Like, come on, don't come around me with that. I do the most. I do whatever it takes. If I got to spend my last to make my dreams happen, I don't want to hear from you if you're going to do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
We're not the same. Right? So I jump on a plane, blind. I go to Chicago and I'm like, I found out where it was at. I show up like, hey, I'm at the auction. What's up?
What do I do next? You walk
literally like that's literally how I got started. I just jumped in. And when I got there were a couple of people there that I knew. Actually, people who follow me on social media were like, oh my God, Neko, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm buying tax liens. What's up? So I meet this guy. He was like, hey, pick out a property. I go through this binder that they had.
Was he fine?
He ended up stealing from me. So he looked like, a thief. He looks like a thief. What do thieves look like?
He didn't look dusty.
Yeah. So he was introduced to me by someone. I bid on the property. I win the property for $500. I'm stoked. I visualize it was worth probably about $100,000.
How did you know it was worth $100,000?
Comps.
So before you go,
no, okay. So that was the sloppiness, right? How I did it is not what you do. Don't do that.
Remember, she just hopped on a plane.
I hopped on a plane and showed up and spent some money. Don't do that. This is why I have a course. Don't do that. So I lucked up. Quite honestly, it was luck because my real estate background, I saw the property. I'm like, corner lot. I'm a corner lot person. My apartment complex is a corner lot. Most of my houses were corner lots. So I was a corner lot person. I saw the corner lot. The property looked decent. It looked small. It was, I was looking through a binder that someone had because they had done their due diligence, which we teach in my class. They had done their due diligence, but they were done bidding for the day. So this was just leftovers for them.
Really?
Yes. So I didn't have my auction number, which you need to participate. So I used that person's auction number. And so the bid was under their name. That's how they were able to steal it from me.
Wow.
Because they did not assign the property back to me, which I ended up doing for my clients. And that's what I came up with my niche. Because I'm like, no one will ever have to do it again. I'll go and bid for them. And then I will assign the property like you're supposed to prior to them issuing the deed. And then the property is theirs. That's kind of, I hate to touch on this, but I just have to mention that's part of the issue that's going on with Jay Morrison is that people don't have ownership, right? They're relying on him to manage the entire transaction from beginning to end. And if they don't like it, then they gripe, oh, he owes me money. He's a scam. But this is why with my program, the ownership is theirs. They are 100% responsible for all of it. They pick their properties. I just show them the process. Okay. I just show them the process. So this guy, so we go out to the property and we're astonished. The property is like 8,000 square feet and this area is completely blighted. So this property is in premium condition. The hardwood floors are intact. The roof is intact. It's a corner lot. It's 8,000 square feet.
Wow.
And I go live on Facebook.
How many other people were at this auction?
Good question. There were about 30 people at this auction.
And nobody bids over $500 for this $100,000 property?
Nobody. They weren't even interested in it.
There must have been.
Because there's thousands. There's thousands and thousands.
So many properties.
There's thousands and thousands of properties. And most people there got 5 to 10 maybe. Mm-hmm. But the white people, the serious investors, they come in and they just rack up. They'd buy 100 at a time. They'd buy 100 at a time. Because what they knew that we didn't know that we know now is the area was in a redevelopment stage. So when I first started, I just wanted to, we could rebuild Black Wall Street. That was my kick. I was like, where can we do it that's really inexpensive, where we can afford to get in? And that was my idea. I didn't know everything that was coming out, like Starbucks is coming there. Amazon has a facility there. The steel mill has reinvested millions of dollars into the city. UPS is there. It just all these major companies are coming. These huge investors, these REITs, these real estate investment trusts are coming there. They've spent $10.4 million investing in this place. Like, it's just overnight. It's like boom. So anyway, we go to the property. I go live on Facebook. I have like 1,500 people on my live watching me at this property. I'm jumping up and down. I'm like, I can't believe it. like, I'm like, I got this house for $500.
First one.
My first one. And it was insane. Like everything that I had dreamed. And this is why you have to go all out. Everything that I dreamed for this opportunity to be, it became because I took the risk. I went all in. That's entrepreneurship. I went all in. You know, you guys can't half-ass it, you know? Half-ass hustling get you half-ass paid. You know what I mean?
So when you buy the tax lien, so you get it for $500, do you own the property?
You absolutely do not. So there's tax liens and there's tax deeds. So with this state, it's a tax lien state. Well, this county, I'll say, it's a tax lien. So you have to wait a period of time, which is called the redemption period.
How long is that period?
It varies from county to county, state to state. It's thousands of different ones. Georgia is a year and a day. For most counties, no. Most counties, like Henry County is a deed state, a deed county, which means when you bid, you get it.
In Henry County.
In Henry County.
What's up? We riding out there today?
Yeah, you was against Delaware earlier. You was dogging Delaware earlier. Yeah.
We are riding out today.
But they don't have, 15, 20,000, properties on there either. So it's going to be, challenging, So, Atlanta is a very difficult place. One of my clients went to an auction, the stair auction where they go to the courthouse, and he brought $40,000 and he got nothing.
What you mean you got nothing?
Because the other investors with deep pockets, they come in there and they bid $100,000-$200,000
with $40,000 like cash
to buy and couldn't get anything.
Wow.
And this is why I start in this area, because if you're going to fail and if you're going to do something wrong, do it with $500 on the line, not $50,000.
So you can get a property for $500.
Yes.
You
yes.
get a property for $100.
But they're not in great condition. I want you to know that. I lucked up. There are ones in there that you will get for. Diamonds in the rough. But for the most part, they will need work. But still, $500.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm in there.
Yeah.
And so anyway, this guy. We did a webinar. We made about $35,000. We were supposed to split the money down. This is what I was telling you about the relationships and not just the money. The guy who bid for me, we did a webinar, $35,000. He gave me $7,000.
Oh, so he gave you that property?
No, he never gave me the property. We did. Okay, so what happened is I bid on the property. We were waiting the redemption period. We did a webinar in the interim. He didn't pay me my full issue. We got into a disagreement about that. And he said, well, I'm not giving you your property. And because he hadn't assigned it to me, I didn't know anything about assignments. I didn't know anything about tax liens. I didn't know anything about redemptions. I didn't know anything about deeds. I didn't know anything about anything. I relied on him 100% to just be honest. And it didn't happen. And so I lost. And at the time, I was very bitter. I was very frustrated. I was very angry. But now he's helped me create $1 million business. So that now I don't even talk bad about him. Like, I don't say his name or nothing because I don't even want nobody to know. Like, thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, because I turned that very hurtful situation, because now I made what that property was worth in a month. Cash.
So what are
right?
Give us. Say we want to go to the auction. Say me and Donnie. We don't. Well, you should probably know something about the tax liens. But say we want to go to the auction.
Yes.
What are like the first three things to consider?
Okay, first three things to consider is, what is your investment strategy? So we talk about that in my course for sure. Are you a buy hold person? Is this a short term or long term investment for you? Because that's going to dictate what type of properties you should be considering. Do you want something that you're going to have to fix up? Do you have the capital or the credit to do that rehab? And what are the rents in the area? Like, it's things to consider. And
how do you know? Do they have like a list of things that are going to go on at the auction?
Yes, they do have a list of the properties, and the list is not easy to review. So we teach you how to review the list for the best success.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So
because there's like 20,000 properties. Like, how do you sort through all of that? So, you know, in my class, we give you an area map, we give you a locator, I show you the best areas to invest in that particular area. Like, I really break it down for you to have the best success. Like, we just had a sale in September. My clients, if you log into my Facebook group, they're going nuts. Like, oh my God, this was the best program ever. Oh my God, I can't believe I won. Oh my God, I'm bidding on this property right now. I think I'm going to win. Oh my God, I won. Oh my God, I lost. But it was so exciting. Like, they are going like bananas, because even just the experience alone, because as you know, one thing that no one can ever take away from you is the knowledge. So whether you win or lose, you learn. And next year you can come back and do it again.
So, Neko, there are several different real estate investment strategies, right?
Yes.
There, wholesaling, there's fix and flip, there's, become a landlord.
Yes.
But what I like about tax liens is that we can't say 100% guaranteed, but it's damn near 100% guaranteed.
It's as close as you're going to get,
right? It is as close as you're going to get to no risk.
It's as close as you're going to get. So here's the lovely part about it. The lovely part about it is when you bid on a tax lien, as long as you're not dealing with someone like, oh boy, but in the regular process, when you bid on a tax lien, really only one of two things happens. Either you're going to win the property at the end of the redemption, or the homeowner is going to come back and pay the taxes on the property and you lose the property. But you get all of your money back, plus interest. Plus interest.
So there's a return on your investment.
There's a return on your investment either way. Yeah. Either way, you get a return. Like where else? No susu. Mm-hmm. No Bitcoin, no stocks, no wholesaling, none of that guarantees that the time that you spend will be worth it.
Right. And here's the thing. If you are seriously looking for a strategy for what to do with your money, let's say you are someone and you have $1,000, $1,500, $5,000, and you're saying, I'm going to save this money. Instead of putting it in a bank that's not going to pay you any interest, put it in, you get if you get 1% in a year.
Right.
Think of a new strategy, right? So people are always looking for ways to get into real estate. How do I get into real estate? And it's not as easy to go and purchase a property with, for fix and flip with $1,500. But if you have $1,500 and you can get your hands on an auction list and go to an auction, it is a much more advantageous position for you to put it on a tax lien, wait that redemption period, even if it is a year, because remember, your goal was to save the money anyway, right? So even if it is a year, and then on that 366th day, you either now get a property that is worth thousands or tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, or you're in negotiation with the owner who has to pay you back what you paid plus interest. Your money is making money for you. It's not just sitting in a bank account chilling.
And even
or in somebody's pocket.
Or even if it is one of those counties where you get it immediately, I mean, I'm sure somebody in that area, real estate investor, will pay an extra $1,000 on top of that.
Yeah, because there's so many different strategies with it, and we teach them as many of them as possible, actually. But
link?
I do have an affiliate link.
What?
I need
I'm about to help her put the program together. Make a commission.
The link is below.
Yeah. So and that link is available to everyone. But So the beauty of it is, like, for instance, we just participated in this the auction that just passed, and my clients
in what city?
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm going to tell you. So I teach them the process. These fools in my group, they like, man, I'm not stopping here. They started investing in Louisiana. They took my process and started taking it everywhere. Yeah. And they're like, I didn't win in the auction with you, Neko, but I just won 4 lots in my city, or I just won 4 lots here. The process is duplicatable in various places. You don't
have to physically go there.
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But they're just taking it and running with it. And I'm like, I'm excited. I'm happy. Like, for me, I bid on a property. I spent a little bit more. I spent $27,000 on the property, me and one of my business associates, but the property is worth $75,000. So we're in that particular county. See, it just varies, right? It's only 30 days for the redemption. So either we're going to make 27. Can't tell you. I tell you, and I tell you, and I tell people in my program.
I'll tell you what.
So it was only 30 days. So we're going to put it back on the market as is, real quick. Better than wholesaling. We spent our money. We didn't have to go out hustling, begging people, negotiating contracts. Hey, you want this? None of that.
Oh, we about to. Oh, yeah.
27,000. Gonna put it on there for 40. For 47,000, and then make our money, and then keep it pushing.
I love it.
On to the next deal. And when you have, if you're playing with some real money from a high end investors, you're paying, $250,000, around that amount. Oh, imagine buying 10 of those. Now you just made $200,000 in 30 days.
A success story from like one of your clients, like one of your favorite stories.
Oh my God, I have an amazing one. Ooh, don't ask me stuff like that. So one of my favorite clients, her name is Vanessa Braxton. She's really a phenomenal Black woman, and she is so team invest Gary. It don't make no kind of sense. So Vanessa actually has a background in engineering and investments. This chick is boss all the way around. She has the only Black tea company called Black Mama Tea. She's about to go public with her company. Like, she's incredible. We're hoping she does, actually. She invested in a commercial property in Gary. So it's a tattered building. She's in Gary right now. I was going to fly back out there this week to meet with her, but she got assignments for me, so I can't go. I got ish to do. So Vanessa buys this commercial property for $500. She bought 17 of them, all for $500. Prime real estate. Now, this is before Target started looking at the area. This is before Starbucks started looking at the area, before the steel mill put the $20 million up, before Amazon came, before UPS came. This is just last year. Understand what I'm saying? We created a wave. Right? We created a wave. She buys this building. She gets a phone call asking her to put a 5G satellite on her building. They want to rent her roof for $15,000 a month. They want to, I have to say this slow. They want to rent her roof for $15,000 a month. They don't care what condition the building is in. They only need the roof. So she's out there right now putting up a $50,000 roof on the building. That's why she's there. She's getting the roof built out so that she can go ahead and secure that contract.
That's amazing. Have you ever taken somebody from like Dusty? Like they join your course, Dusty? And then... Most
of my clients come in Dusty. Now, what I mean by Dusty is they come in without any knowledge.
Right, for sure. Not coming at you.
We're not coming. Don't be scared because she's gonna think you're dusty.
It was all dusty. Well,
we're not
dusty right now. We was all dusty.
We're talking about dusty mindsets.
Yeah, for sure.
But absolutely, the majority of my clients come in without any knowledge whatsoever. I got so many newbies and first timers. This isn't a get rich quick scheme. This is an investment strategy. It sounds like it.
It sounds very simple. Is it as simple as it sounds?
It's more, to me, it's yes, that's the short answer. But there's work involved. The reason why it's simple is because they have to put in the work. She didn't just, bid on whatever and however. No, she put in the work. She was very intentional about what she wanted to invest in. And that's what I say when you ask me, what are the main things? Your investment strategy. What is it that you're coming in here to do? If you're looking for overnight success, you might want to bring in a little bit more money because you're going to have to invest in the properties where you can have a quick turnover.
So
if you're looking for...
The more money you put up, the better chance you'll get a better deal. Like the more money you put up, the better deal.
For the most part, absolutely, because you're going to be competing with other investors. Because when people come into my program, you are no longer the newbie. You are addressed on a daily basis as investor. Right. So you got to get out of the landlord mindset. And the reason why I distinguish the two is because, again, the investor going to go where the money is. The landlord wants to be able to drive up and see their property. So which one do you want to be? If you're going to work with me, you need to have an investor mindset. I love it. Period. And so what that means is you're going to have to invest financially, you're going to have to invest emotionally, you're going to have to invest mentally, you're going to have to invest physically. I was out at my property in the hood with heels on, okay, in Gary, Indiana, on the block, talking to young black men on the block about investments. I get out there. Now, they're like, why are you wearing heels? Because I don't do none of the work. You see these dudes behind me? They do the work. I ain't finna get up out here chopping down no grass and trees.
I think that's important for our people to see.
It is. It is. It is. And, you know, so I did a whole live video. Hair was, on fleek. Looked like I was doing a fashion model shoot, but no, I'm an investor. I don't have to touch nothing if I don't want to. I don't plan on. That's why I pay people for.
Yeah. So look, we gotta we gotta wrap up. I think what I took from this is one, you're cute and thick. First off, then I took that
most important.
Donnie's easier to get in her DM than Neko. It's a little easier. Also, that this is a business that you don't need necessarily prior knowledge. You don't have to be super articulate. You don't got to have a following. It's you get the information, small investment, do the work, and you find something.
Yeah, this to me for newbies is definitely an entry level investment process. For my more seasoned investors, this is like a gold mine for them because it's not nearly as much of the hustle and bustle as the other strategies that I see out there. You know, and again, it's the least risky. Yeah. I mean, that's just what it is. Sure. It's the least risky when you invest in something and you're either going to get that investment or you're going to get your money back
with interest.
I'm waiting on a deal right now in Atlanta where I put 20 grand in. It's been a whole year and I can't even get my phone calls returned. That's risky.
That's not a tax lien.
No, it's not. That was a fix and flip. Exactly. Oh, are we gonna? Look at and the property is basically done. But I like with the tax lien. There's a time frame. Like with the deal that I'm dealing with, there was no time frame. With the tax liens, at this period of time, this is what's going to happen, no matter what.
Yeah,
I love it.
No matter what, you know what the outcome is going to be.
Well, look, we got to wrap up.
No, so I'm going to close.
I was about to say that. Nice today, okay?
Here's the thing. I need to take it. I don't want you to just give me.
Okay, all right. So Donnie's going to take the close. Only because I have like a million more questions, but I got to go host this event. So if you need somebody to host your event.
Oh, my gosh.
I'll let you close this out with...
So I'm going to close this out.
Get a motivational word together, okay?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to close this out because I, too, have an event to immediately go and host after this.
The one I put her on, though.
He did. He shared his opportunity with me. And so we're about to kill this thing.
Yeah, you know it.
Anyway, so, guys, take a lot from this. And the message that I want to convey, like a lot of you guys... or a lot of people get the shiny new toy syndrome, kind of like what you saw David over there doing, right? He was excited. He was foot twitching. And he
know what opportunity looks like.
He knows what opportunity looks like, but he also said it feels like a get-rich-quick thing, right? And while you can definitely make money and earn money back from this, I want you to understand that there is still work involved. You still have to do some sort of due diligence, but... if you are someone who is cash strapped and you have just a little bit of money and you're trying to save, like we, especially in the African American community, have to get out of the mindset of we're going to put our money in the bank. The bank actually takes the money that you put into their facilities and they reinvest your money
in tax liens.
They reinvest it in tax liens. They reinvest it into universities. They reinvest it into wherever they want to reinvest, and they make money off of your money. It is time for us now to start receiving information like this and realizing, you know what? I do have $500. I do have $750. And stop feeling like you don't have enough to make a move. This woman has just shown us how we can make moves with $500. I know that, there are people who have made a move on $100. So we're eliminating excuses on the
sure.
Donnie and David podcast. We are eliminating excuses of, I don't know how, I don't have enough, I don't have an idea. Mm-hmm. Hit Neko. We're going to make sure her IG is on the video so that you guys can.
Link is below.
And our affiliate.
Yes.
Listen, let me find out. Y'all went to her directly and didn't hit me. Let me find out. But we're working together now on really just revving up the program. Like her program already is really serious, but we're going through a transitional moment where we're really, creating a lot more impact.
So many goodies.
You've got some she's got membership opportunities where you can stay plugged into her. Already month to month and really get those nuggets. And then there's a VIP program that is coming for her heavier lifting investors at the top of the year. So now is your time to really consider this as a viable option for you. I know David is. Like, we're on this. You just give us the play and we're going to run it. And we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it. But Neko, just close us out with
So here,
first, how to find you? How do they find you?
How to find me is at Neko Cheri everywhere. Not Neko Cheri, fellas. Neko Cheri.
Spell that for me.
NEKOCHERI on Instagram. Facebook is where you'll find me most. But I'll be cussing on Facebook. But if you want to be more professional, just go look at me. Look for me on LinkedIn. Okay. YouTube, I'm pretty much everywhere. Even TikTok. I did a TikTok video. Okay. It was very interesting. Yeah, I was lit. I even danced, kinda.
I don't get the feeling that you can dance.
Oh, I can get down.
You can dance?
Oh, for sure. You do.
That's so cute to dance. I'm over here like,
I'm like that. I'm both of them.
You dance because it just seems like her personality. Maybe it don't look all too good, but
yeah. Okay. You go watch my TikTok video and vote. So here's the quote that I'm going to leave you guys with. If you're not succeeding, there's either two things happening. Either you're doing the right thing wrong or the wrong thing right. That's it. You are either doing the right thing wrong or the wrong thing right. Like, I'm doing the right thing, but I'm not necessarily doing it wrong, but it most definitely can be improved upon for me to succeed at the level that I want to. So there it is.
Yes, guys. So go and find my client. People, this is the best kind of social proof. I just love it.
Yeah.
We'll let you just play some social proof next time. But as usual, it has been absolutely amazing. Don't forget to comment and start giving us some ideas. Who do you want to hear from? What kind of industries do you want us to talk about? And what kind of topics do you want us to cover?
Oh, I do have one last thing. This is a question people always ask. What is the minimum that I should have to invest? I would say, if you really want to get into this game, $2,500. Most of my clients can get in for less than that, but to give you some wiggle room.
Yeah, okay.
$2,500.
There it is. Listen, make sure you follow us. Okay, share this with somebody. All right, we are out of here.